I've talked to over 2,000 women about hormones. Here's what I learned. Did you know hypothyroidism is 8 to 9 times more common in women than it is men? Did you know that 60% of those with hypothyroidism are unaware that they have it? An alarming number of women also remain symptomatic even after seeing doctors for their hypothyroidism. An even larger number of women and doctors are completely unaware of the benefits of bioidentical hormone replacement therapy during menopause. I'm here to tell you menopause is not a death sentence. The second half of your life can and should be better than the first. I'm going to tell you the truth about how doctors have been lying to you about menopause being your new normal and telling you your lab work is the end-all be-all when it comes to what you should do about your hormones. Let's dive in. Hormones are something I'm very, very passionate about. As I've worked more and more with women on fat loss, weight loss, I've discovered how big of a piece hormones play in this overall body transformation pie. Especially if you have PCOS, hypothyroidism, PMS, if you're going into perimenopause, menopause, or postmenopause, and postpartum. All of these phases or challenges women uniquely face, especially thyroid issues where women are way more predisposition to thyroid issues versus men, it's become abundantly clear that number one, when we replace those hormones, a lot of the symptoms dissipate, especially with thyroid, especially with PCOS, which is very similar to insulin resistance. More on that later. But what I also noticed over the course of years, having conversations with women, thousands and thousands of women who are trying to lose body fat and are encountering some of these issues, you go to the doctor, let's just say it's a general practitioner, you describe some of the symptoms you're feeling. Let's take menopause, for example. So you go, you're like, doc, I'm having hot flashes, I'm having a lot of difficulty burning fat in my midsection, things aren't working the same way as they used to. I'm experiencing vaginal atrophy, vaginal dryness. I'm experiencing discomfort during sex. I'm having mood swings. Nothing feels the same. I don't have the energy that I used to have. I want to work out, but I can't because I don't have the energy. And then my sleep is all fucked up. Sometimes this is the case. A doctor will just look at you and say, I'll prescribe you an SSRI, an antidepressant, which isn't the root cause of all the things you're feeling. It's just a Band-Aid. It's also a patented drug, which is a whole other thing. If they don't do that, sometimes they'll say, okay, let's do some blood work. If they even suggest blood work, they don't draw a full thyroid panel. They don't get free T3. Your free T3 is your active thyroid hormone, and it in large parts determines your ability to burn visceral fat and reverse insulin sensitivity, restore your ability to burn fat, have energy, etc. Thyroid is for women what testosterone is for men, broadly. It helps you feel great. It helps you burn fat. It helps your cognition. It helps your mood. Thyroid contributes to so many things. There's a study done where they prescribed T3 alongside Zoloft, which is an SSRI. The T3 increased the efficacy of the SSRI exponentially. They did not find the same increases with the SSRI alone, which tells you that thyroid is interlinked with serotonin, good mood, depression, etc. Knowing all this, sometimes doctors don't even get the right blood work done. And then let's just say that they do get you the blood work. They only look at reference ranges. Those reference ranges are not indicative of a healthy, thriving populace. Those reference ranges were derived from a sickly elderly populace. So even if you're in the normal range, as indicated on this lab work, you may still feel like shit. But what happens is, even though you're still symptomatic, the doctor tells you what? Oh no, honey, you're normal, you're good, and sends you on your way. Menopause is just a normal part of life you're supposed to accept. Oh, Mother Nature's ripping you of the very hormones that provided you vitality for 40 years? Completely normal. You should just accept it, and you remain miserable. I'm here to tell you that not only do you not have to accept that, but there's a preponderance of literature, medical literature, on bioidentical hormone replacement therapy that shows that when we replace these hormones prior to menopause, the second part of your life can be every bit as good as the first. And here is where I'm passionate about it. Women don't get help when it comes to hormones, especially with menopause. YouTube might take this video down. I don't know. You don't have to accept a shitty quality of life simply because some doctor wasn't trained in hormones and doesn't know how to help you. So I thought to myself, what if I get a medical team together with the hormone credentials and the experience working with women in bioidentical hormone replacement, and we open a telemed service to optimize hormones for women all over the country and help you round out this body transformation pie with optimal hormones so you feel like doing the things and cultivating the lifestyle that is required to produce the visual changes you want to see, like exercise, like going on walks, like consuming enough protein, like strength training. If your hormones are ripped from you, you have deficient thyroid, you have intense PMS, you have hypothyroidism, you are in menopause or experiencing symptoms of perimenopause, it's really hard to be motivated to do those things, to cultivate the values that lead to body transformation. So I'm looking to combine what I do very well with nutrition coaching and lifestyle coaching, combine it with bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, and have a complete picture. That is why I wanted to launch Slay. That's the whole mission behind it. I'm tired of women being invalidated at the hands of medical professionals who just don't know hormones, who treat reference ranges over treating symptoms. We treat symptoms first. We don't stop optimizing until your symptoms dissipate. And sometimes that means optimizing beyond the reference range that has been imposed upon you. What are bioidentical hormones? So there is a big difference. I'm sure a lot of you have heard, oh, what about the side effects? What about the deleterious health effects of hormones? I have cancer running in my family. Is this something I should be doing? There is a huge difference between synthetic hormones, progestins, synthetic estrogen, like you find in birth control, and bioidentical hormones. Bioidentical hormones are based on the same molecular structure as the hormones in your body. Synthetic hormones are not, and your body has to convert them to a usable form. Nearly all of the deleterious health effects that you hear about and the risks associated with hormones are associated with synthetic hormones, not bioidentical. Bioidentical, good. Synthetic, bad. So what are some of the benefits you can expect to receive from bioidentical hormone replacement? Pretty long list. Take every symptom that you feel in menopause. Those symptoms are a result of your uterus no longer producing estradiol and progesterone. And we can also assume that your thyroid is probably slowed down too, but not all the time. So let's look at some of the benefits that you get when you experience thyroid hormone deficiency, for example. Usually there's going to be insulin resistance coinciding with that. Not all the time, but most of the time. And PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, is very similar, almost parallel with insulin resistance. You rarely see one without the other. In order to reverse insulin resistance, you have to be able to decrease visceral fat. In order to decrease visceral fat, you have to have optimal levels of T3. T3 is active thyroid hormone. When you have deficient thyroid, your body temperature is going to be unregulated, your sleep's going to be shit, your energy levels are going to be low, your skin quality goes down, your sex drive can be affected, your general feeling of well-being, your basal metabolic rate is also affected by your levels of circulating active thyroid hormone. The problem that we see in the mainstream medical world is they just want to prescribe patented drugs like Synthroid. Well, you have two main thyroid hormones. You have thyroid stimulating hormone, which is produced in the pituitary gland, and then you have inactive thyroid hormone and active thyroid hormone. T4 inactive, T3 active. Synthroid is just T4 inactive, and the thought process has always been, oh, we'll prescribe inactive and the body will convert it to active. Well, number one, that doesn't always happen, and that's why symptoms persist. The other thing is when you prescribe T4 in and of itself, by itself, it can downregulate the enzyme deiodinase, which is responsible for T4 to T3 conversion. People don't know that, including doctors. And so that is why prescribing both hormones, both T3 and T4, is usually advantageous. The problem is those are usually in the form of compounded thyroid, or there are some patented versions like Armour thyroid and NP thyroid. It's really hard to convince doctors who weren't educated on this that you need that, if they even want to get you free T3 ordered on your blood work. So this is where we come in. Our medical team is experienced in this. They're trained on hormones. Onward and upward. Some more benefits of bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. Obviously, estradiol plays a huge role in the body. Going into menopause, an estradiol is stripped from you. You have an increased propensity to store belly fat in the abdomen. That's where a lot of estrogen receptors are. Hence the term menopause belly that we see so much in menopause, right? You just, no matter what you do, you have this belly that won't go away. Menopause belly. And it's because you no longer have estradiol in your system. So replacing estradiol helps a lot with that. There's also a ton of protective benefits of estradiol. And when you combine estradiol with micronized progesterone, each of the bioidentical forms of these hormones, they are synergistic together. They're so protective. Micronized progesterone helps with so much, including sleep, sex drive, metabolism. Again, synergistic with estradiol. How long should you stay on hormones? Well, how long do you want to be healthy? How long do you want to be optimal? This is a lifelong game. Once those hormones are optimized, why would you go back to not having them in your body? Us versus the competition. I've looked into the competition. I've looked into a lot of other companies, how they do things. There are some good ones out there. You want to go with who you're most comfortable with, but I will tell you this. If someone prescribes you hormones without doing blood work, that is some cowboy cowboy ass, reckless shit. I have a lot of peers in the medical community. I have an entire community online of medical professionals who are currently in the BHRT space. They have a brick and mortar clinic. They're OBGYNs. They've been working with patients for years. When I bring up Winona to them, they are baffled. Winona is one of the biggest companies providing hormones. I don't care to call them out by name because they can't deny what I'm about to tell you. They don't require blood work and they don't prescribe thyroid, one of the main hormones for women when it comes to vitality and feeling your best and being able to do the things that you did in your 20s. A little bit weird that they wouldn't prescribe one of the most important hormones, wouldn't you think? Also weird that they don't require lab work. How can a service be personalized and based on your needs if they don't require lab work? It's unethical, it's reckless, and if you're gonna get your hormones optimized at levels that are personalized to you, that requires blood work. With Slay, not only are we gonna require a full panel of hormones that is just standard for us because we wanna see not only where your hormones are at or where you're at health-wise, because we're going to have a holistic approach. So if you want something that is truly personalized, people who value symptoms over numbers, people who listen to you, people who will validate you, people who work with you on an ongoing basis to truly optimize your entire life, we are the answer for that. So if you've been to the doctor and you've been invalidated, you've been struggling with fat loss for a long time, you're doing all the right things with your nutrition and training, but you're still not getting results, this is where you go because hormones are likely the answer there. It's the missing puzzle piece to your body composition puzzle. So when are we launching? Our launch date is February 1st. I'm super excited. Get ready. We're launching in 7 states to start out, and those states are Tennessee, Kentucky, Georgia, South Carolina, Florida, Missouri, Mississippi. We're gonna be in 35 plus states eventually. Those are the ones that we're launching in initially because those are the states that our medical team is licensed in. And as we get licensed in more states, we'll launch in more states. So sign up for the email list. I'll put the link to that in my bio so that when we launch in your state, you will know and you can stay up to date on everything Slay. So how do you get on board? What's the process? So when we launch, it's gonna be a very simple step-by-step process. Step 1, create your client account. You can do that on our website. Really simple, fill out a patient questionnaire. It's akin to any kind of medical questionnaire you ever filled out. And once you have that complete, we'll go on to step 2. Step 2 is lab work. We gotta get that blood work, baby. So you can either go through our lab work portal, or if you have current existing lab work, you can use that and upload it. It has to have the values that we need in order to be able to serve you. And so there is a list of those values in this process. I also put it on the Slay Instagram, so check that out. Also follow Slay Hormone Solutions on Instagram if you haven't already. You already have the lab work with the values that we need. You can upload that onto the portal, and then we'll go on to step 3. If you don't have current lab work, that's fine. You can get it through our portal, super easy, and you have 2 options. You can either get a mobile phlebotomist to come to your home and do the draw there from the comfort of your home, or you can download the digital lab requisition and take it to your local LabCorp and get your lab done there. Either way, we'll get emailed the results and reach out to you to do step 3, which is schedule your consultation with our Slay practitioner. You'll get a link to schedule that in the email. Every part of this process, you're gonna get messages in our portal and we'll email you directly. So you'll schedule your practitioner visit. You'll show up on Zoom, distraction free. She's already looked at your blood work. She's already assessed and determined what your needs are. You'll have a conversation with her, learn about hormones, learn about everything you need to do, how to take them, when to take them, answer any questions you have. And then after that, you'll talk to our client coordinator who will take care of everything from there, getting your hormones to you. And that's it. Steps 1 through 4, complete. Super easy process. We've got you. We can optimize those hormones. We can drastically reduce your symptoms. We can get you feeling amazing again, like you deserve to feel. I see it firsthand in the weight loss space, how difficult it is for women. Aside from all these challenges, just as a woman, how difficult it is to get consistent fat loss results. We're not even mentioning the misinformation you have to sift through about nutrition. Now we have the other side of it, which is the hormones that hardly anyone really knows how to deal with. Well, your emotional support Viking, here's here to serve you in that realm as well. Follow the Slay Hormone Solutions Instagram, sign up for the email list, get ready February 1st for when we launch. ESV out.